Think of any card. You got one?
I got one.
What's the card?
The King of Hearts.
The King of Hearts. Shh. Not the Queen of Spades?
The
The King of Hearts?
Okay. Cool.
The King of Hearts?
Yes.
Now here's your question.
Okay.
How many Bitcoins does it take to get some goddamn respect in this town?
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So today is Monday. That's right, back on the grind. Hope you had an awesome weekend, and I hope that you're having a great start to your week. If you're new to the channel, I do this every single day, so what are you waiting for? Get subscribed. Now, having a look at what is going on today, we do notice that we are seeing something interesting, okay? We are seeing a lot of altcoins in red, whereas we're actually seeing Bitcoin and Ethereum in the green, or some of the top as well. Not to mention the fact that Tether is $1.01. We'll get into that in just a second. But what does this mean? Well, we spoke about this actually. If we have a look over here, if I give it a quick refresh live, you'll notice that the Bitcoin dominance is actually up to 50.8%. So generally what happens, and we had discussed this on the channel, is that you'll notice that once the altcoins make enough profits, they do tend to sell off and move into either a stable coin or Bitcoin, which would explain the percentage increase that we are seeing in Bitcoin currently right now. Now, some people are also a little bit worried about maybe there's going to be a potential drop, a sell-off, right? Maybe we're moving up too fast. So you are seeing some increase. For example, Tether is at $1.01 and it's up 0.78%. Now, I've also heard that Tether potentially is printing more Tether as well. If you guys don't know how I feel about some of that situation, you guys can check out my Black Swan event video. But that is not for today's topic. Today, we need to see what is going on. So Bitcoin is sitting over $5,200 globally. Vest chain is up 27%, but I had a look at this project. Volume $16,500. I don't know about it too much, guys. I'd be a little careful with this one. I wouldn't go rush into this right now. As you can see, it already had a massive sell-off, obviously. We also have Nano, Verge, Tron is up 6%, Digitex Futures, Ethereum, obviously, Cubitica, Wax, and Crypto.com, all doing quite well today. Now, having a look at our Bitcoin chart, wasn't quite sure what was going to happen over the weekend. We know that volume tends to drop off. Well, it looks like everybody woke up in the East. We did have massive volume come in overnight, as you can see right here, but it was good volume. It actually went up. There was a little bit of a minor sell-off this morning, but we were supported yet again by this line that has been supporting us now ever since we had the massive pop on April 2nd. So far, this is good. The trend is your friend, right? Until the end. But will we be able to maintain this trend is the question. So obviously, we still need to break above 5,355. Now, the question is, if we do dump, are we going to have this sort of new support here at the $5,100 level? Could be. Or, like I was saying, we may go down to the $4,781 mark. Obviously, once again, I just want to remind everyone what I'm looking at personally for like the ultimate bullish indicator is getting above this resistance, support, whatever you want to call it, depending on which side of the coin you're on, that we had the other, I spoke about it yesterday, but obviously you could see it acted as massive resistance back here in 2017, and it was basically support during the entire pretty much bear market until, doomsday, November 14th and 15th and 16th and 17th when we just plummeted. So yeah, that was rough times. But talking about what is going on, obviously this is what I'm looking at, but I want to look at what some other people are saying in the space. One of the indicators that we had been looking at was the market god indicator, and we have Crypto Thies over here. Now he says, quick thoughts. Supports 4.7K, 4.3K. 4.7K is the one that I've kind of got my mind on. Resistance 5.5, 5.7, 6.6, 8.4. He says, confident we will touch at least 4.7K again. It wouldn't be a surprise to me to see a slight bit of a cool off, a little bit of a sell off, right? But he does say, if you look at the bottom, he says 1 week BB squeeze, 2 week candle breaking above mid BB suggests macro move to upper BB on 2 week at 8.4K due in the coming weeks. Is that possible? Could we see an 8,000 plus dollar Bitcoin in just a few weeks? I mean, it is possible, right? What's really interesting is one of the guys out there, you may be familiar with, Murad Mahmudov. I always put this up all the time. He he made this chart about the Lindy effect, which I do reference a lot in a lot of my videos. And you can see he says we are here, and then we need to get to greater perceived safety, greater education and understanding. Now, this is talking about Bitcoin. Eventually, you would be a reliable store of value, and you guys could check this chart out. And then ultimately, the end goal is to be full global money, right? Well, he recently came out and is actually saying that he doesn't think we're going to go lower than his original prediction. And this was on a Periscope interview. And I want to just play this clip for you super, super quick.
I want to go into a tweet that I saw a while back that you said, where you were kind of talking about how we haven't even bottomed out yet. And you were making the claim that expected to go even lower before we reach a bull market, and you predicted a bull market not happening until a few years out. Do you still fundamentally believe that, or have you changed your viewpoint on that at all?
Yeah, so I tweeted that in early February, I believe. I think there's been a lot of happenings since, obviously. I would say right now I am 75% certain that we saw the lowest price already, and it's behind us.
Oh, wow. That's a large claim. And what made you change your
I
view?
think this is the way I put it a couple of days ago. I think the bad news is that the bottom is in, but the good news is that we still have a couple of months until sort of the real bull market begins.
Yeah.
And I think sort of this middle of 2019 is a good way to start leaning into the market regardless in the grand scheme of things, because we have a very major 4-year bull run ahead of us. And 2019 is definitely the time to be investing. I'm pretty confident to say that.
That's awesome.
So yeah, you could see that he completely changed his tune on things, and he's basically saying that we are not going to go below $3,100 again. And guys, this is basically what I try to say on the channel. You know, if you screwed up and you bought maybe slightly too high, or maybe if you missed out on a chance to buy lower, there's always the beauty of dollar cost averaging, right? I mean, we get paid every Friday, most of us, and, you know, just putting a small percentage, 10% in of your, I mean, if you want to, some people say 10% is too much. You know me, guys, I'm crazy. I got the majority of my portfolio is basically all crypto. But yeah, so look at it as a time for accumulation. Don't rush this thing. Don't try to get to 20K right away, because listen, if we were to go to 20K tomorrow, you'd probably be very upset that you didn't have an opportunity to accumulate more Bitcoin while it was cheap, right? But I just think that was really cool that he said that, and I wanted to point that out. You obviously have other guys making other claims as well. Tom Lee is calling Bitcoin's fair value at $14,000. He's basing this on the fact that we're over the 200-day average, and he's saying that we could see 6 months as being a rough window for a bull market to appear, which would kind of echo what Murad was saying before. You also have Brian Kelly talking about the fact that he thinks we're definitely going to see a $6,000 Bitcoin relatively soon. So yeah, those are just other things to talk about as well. Now, you could sit here and we can just talk about price predictions all day, right? I mean, he said this, she said that, I said this. Great. But what about what's actually happening in the background? I like to look at fundamentals. I like to look at statistics, right? So we had this that came out the other day. This was on April 4th. I spoke about it, and Cumberland updated and said the post-trade analysis of Monday evening's price action revealed a series of large bids, 1,000 plus Bitcoin per order within a 1 hour span, which appear to be actual buyers versus forced liquidations. This means people are demanding it. They are willingly buying these Bitcoins. And the thing that I want to point out too on top of it is not just this update, but look at what came out from CN Ledger. Now, they said Chinese markets reveal strong buys. Over-the-counter trades, almost the only way basically that you can get Bitcoin because of all of the ridiculous regulations and bans over in China, right? So they said showing a considerable dollar premium, 1 USDT equals 1 CNY. So basically, these guys are paying more over the counter, which is insane to think about, right? Usually the idea is, buy over the counter and then, try to hold it and then sell for more, which I'm sure is what they're trying to do, but they're actually paying a premium for it. So they're paying more than we're paying for it. And I just wanted to point that out. Now, will this necessarily affect the price, okay? No, it won't, because they're buying over the counter. That's the whole point. It doesn't affect the price, right? But the fact that these people are even doing this, taking this interest and paying extra money to get Bitcoin is definitely showing that they're seeing some kind of value in it, right? And you can see right here though, they were talking about, is this going to drive the price up? Well, they do say that about 35% of the global Bitcoin volume is said to be processed by the CME and CBOE futures markets. Obviously now we only have one of those, but when you remove the fake volume, you notice that these futures volumes is significant, $91 million, especially compared to the real spot volume, which is roughly 35%. They say this is good news because it means that CME, a regulated, surveilled market, is of a material size, which is important for an ETF, right? So obviously we are doing a lot of the volume from the United States, but OTC doesn't affect it. But I did want to just point out that I think that is something very positive moving forward. Now, I want to talk about something right here, and it's this chart. Okay, now this is called the Perez technological surge cycle, right? Now, this guy talked about it, and why am I bringing this up? Well, I want to let you guys know, where are we right now? Like everybody likes to say, like, where are we on like the adoption curve? Are we at the very bottom? Are we starting to slope up? Are we in the middle? Well, Daniel Heyman posted on Hacker Noon, and he had some really interesting things, and I want to go into this because I just think you guys are going to be shocked what this guy thought. So he says, essentially, during installation, technologies demonstrate new ways of doing business and achieving financial gains. This usually creates a frenzy of investment in the new technology, which drives a bubble, and also intense experimentation in the technology. When the bubble bursts, the subsequent recession or depression is a turning point to implement social and regulatory changes to take advantage of the infrastructure created during the frenzy. If changes are made, a golden age typically follows as the new technology is productively deployed. So here is the chart right here. Now, let me show you where he says that we are. That's right, guys. All the way down there at the very, very, very bottom of gestation. Yes, guys. So he says, in many ways, the bubbles created by the frenzy in the installation phase make it possible for new technology to succeed. The bubble creates a burst of overinvestment in the infrastructure of new technology. Just think of like railways, canals, fiber optic cables, etc., right? So he says 2018 was not a Perez-style frenzy and bubble because it did not include key outcomes that are necessary to reach a turning point, significant infrastructure improvements, and replicatable business models that can serve as a roadmap during the deployment period. The bubble came early because blockchain technology enabled liquidity earlier in its life cycle. So, what are your thoughts on this, guys? He is saying that we are not even at the frenzy yet. Now, if that's not early, that's crazy, okay? Now, this is obviously just one man's opinion, but I want to ask you, where do you think we are on the Perez technological surge cycle? Do you think we're as low as he says that we are, or do you think maybe we're a little bit higher? Okay, so I want you guys to let me know about what you think. Now, I also wanted to sort of relate this to something that we're all very familiar with, which is internet users around the world. So you can look at this chart right here. Obviously, I don't have completely, up-to-date data on this, but have a look at it anyway. And basically, in about 25 years, we went from absolutely nothing to more than half of the world's population using the internet. It appears likely that crypto will maintain, something similar to this. In fact, it's probably going to happen quicker because whereas the internet was essentially the infrastructure, we already have that. So it's so much easier when we have something that's actually able to be built on top of the internet. Think of how fast we could just, send and spread information now. So if we kind of consider cryptos to be roughly around the 1994, 1995 levels of adoption as compared to the internet, you could see that a number of users today, is only a shadow, basically, of what we could be in a few years. I mean, just think about it. So adoption obviously isn't linear, but the more people that get involved, the better. And they do say that it'll take twice as long to go from 0 to 1 billion users as it would to go from 1 billion to 2 billion users, right? Also wanted to point out that Statista claims that at the end of 2018, there were 31 million crypto wallet users in the world. When compared to the world population of about 7.6 billion, we can see that about just 0.42% of people on this planet are actually involved in cryptocurrency. So I think the theme of today's video is, you're freaking early. You're very early, okay? We're all very early. I mean, look at it right here. If you consider that innovators would be considered 2.5% and early adopters would be 13.5%, but they're saying that we only have 0.42% of people actually involved in cryptocurrency, that would put us not even at the innovators yet, which is almost ridiculous. Like, it's almost unbelievable, right? To think of us being that early. I would have personally put us in the early adopters, honestly. But I guess when you look at the statistics, it's not. So basically, what does it all mean? Well, as you can see right here, each year more people are going to use crypto than the year before. And as that happens, there will be more developers improving the tech. And those advances are going to lead to price rises that may be hard for any of us to even conceive right now, right? So when you hear something like John McAfee saying he's going to eat his manhood if we don't go to $1 million by 2020, it's like, I don't know, man. Did you guys think we were going to be at 5,000 this soon? I mean, you know, it really catches you off guard. So as you can see right here, while the bear market has been tough, Joseph Lubin summed up the future of crypto perfectly when he said, if you could see the landscape through my eyes, you would have to wear sunglasses, right? So if we are saying that the bottom is definitely in, okay, then according to Michael Patterson, he works at Bloomberg, he is an analyst, and he is basically saying that we are going to be looking at quite an increase. If Bitcoin has in fact bottomed out, history suggests there could be further upside. The NASDAQ, for example, more than doubled in the 5 years after its post-bubble lows and has since reached record highs that are well above its peak during the dot-com mania. Okay, now you can see right here, he points that out. Obviously, trying to compare the NASDAQ to just Bitcoin, maybe that's not really the greatest comparison. They're clearly different in nature, but, you know, it's just sort of a metric for us to wrap our head around, right? Other things we can look at is interest, social interest, people looking up search terms, right? Bitcoin, blockchain, Ethereum, Cardano, whatever, right? So look at this. Top 5 countries where Google searches for Bitcoin has tripled, 3x'd, okay? We have Nigeria, Netherlands, South Africa, Austria, and Switzerland all having 3x the amount of interest in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, not to mention the fact that if we come over to CoinDance, over-the-counter purchases for Bitcoin volume in Venezuela is officially at an all-time high. Like, totally all-time high now, okay? We had dipped a little bit lower. They had that blackout, which I think was creating a little bit of an issue, but now you are seeing that moving forward. And if that's not enough to prove that adoption is happening, we spoke about Coinme partnering with Coinstar, right? So now, you know those Coinstar machines? I mean, I have one literally right at my grocery store where I go, right? So you can see right here, they say that Bitcoin is now available within 5 miles of 90% of Americans via cash-enabled kiosks. These kiosks are generating over 315 million impressions a week, with transaction volumes growing 17% week over week, representing impressive mainstream growth, right? So this is just something you have to point out as well. Now, is that enough positivity for you guys? Okay, you feeling pretty good about the markets? Listen, we might take a dip, guys. It's possible, but the long-term vision is so good. So here's the thing. Even if we do take a bit of a dip, okay, take it as a blessing. You know, I remember people, I'm going to talk about the Samsung thing. That's why it's happening. But I remember people that were complaining when Bitcoin was at, 20K, 16K, even 11K, 10K, being like, I just wish I could buy Bitcoin again for 3,000. And we had that opportunity again. And people were too scared to do it. You know, it's sad, but you got to be smart. You got to be smart out there, guys. So moving on, I know, I was getting kind of a little preachy there. Now, having a look at this, so you're seeing a lot of people freak out because this person was able to actually break into a Samsung Galaxy S10, right? Now, the question is, will this affect us if they are going to be able to also get into your blockchain wallet, right? So you can see right here, he basically 3D printed a thumbprint, a fingerprint, and he was able to get into it. So the thing is, will this affect it? Well, long story short, it looks like you would have to have a 3D printer, be able to get a hold of somebody's fingerprint, which shouldn't be that hard. It's probably already on the phone, and then you can get into it. So based on what this guy was able to do, would you, are you probably going to get hacked? No, probably not. But just know that it is possible to do this. So be careful. And, you shouldn't have just a fingerprint as a way to get into your phone. Some people do it. I don't. You should use a passcode or, and definitely use two-factor authentication for anything like trading and stuff like that. If you have accounts, exchange accounts and stuff like that. But I just wanted to point that out. Some people were freaking out about it. Here we go. Something funny for you guys as a little, just having a little bit of fun here. So check this out. They were apparently they were like reporting something on Craig Wright, talking about him claiming that he was Satoshi Nakamoto, but, they ended up playing the wrong clip. Although some people said that, it was interesting, the clip that they chose to play. So it's 42 seconds. I just want to play this for you real quick.
Australian man claims to be the creator of Bitcoin, a claim that would end one of the biggest mysteries in the tech world. The computer scientist says he doesn't want fame or adoration. He just wants to stop the spread of misinformation about the digital currency.
Winning, obviously, and it's my stag do, you see, so I'm getting married in 2 months, so we're running it for that, so it's very special. And tell me about when you looked over your shoulder.
All right, we apologize, that was the wrong soundbite there. But Craig Wright, the computer science scientist, says he launched the currency in 2009 with the help of others, and although he has provided evidence of digital messages during the early days of Bitcoin, many still want more proof. All right, let's go on to the...
So just wanted to have a little bit of fun with you guys. As you can see, they totally screwed up, and they ended up instead showing this picture of this dude in some kind of like a mud crawl race wearing a clown wig. So I don't know. Pretty funny, guys. I want to know. Let's just have a poll just for fun. Is Craig Wright the real Satoshi Nakamoto? I'll leave a poll above. I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say. Now, also talking about something that's been happening, I want to talk about what's been going on with VeriBlock, because while a lot of people have praised their proof-of-proof innovation, you could see that some people are saying it might be more of a parasite to Bitcoin than it is something that's mutually beneficial. Jameson Lopp right here, he said, source of the now highest volume of op return outputs has been identified as VeriBlock proof-of-proof miners. They are creating around 20% of the Bitcoin transactions now. Seems inefficient to me. Will be interesting to see if the incentives work long time. So basically, its effect on Bitcoin is evident. So at present, VeriBlock is taking up now around 27% of the space in Bitcoin's 1 megabyte blocks. So now the average fee for inclusion in the next 6 blocks on the Bitcoin network has reached 161 Satoshis, up from 14 less than a month ago, which means that the network fees are going up. So some people say this is a good thing because it's securing it. Other people say this sucks because remember when one of the biggest issues we had at the all-time high was there was so much activity on the Bitcoin network that the transaction fees were just through the roof. And that is a problem. That is a problem. I'm not going to lie, guys. I mean, if we have a look over here, you could see the average Bitcoin fees by network. So you could see the red is Bitcoin SV, the green is Bitcoin Cash, and they are relatively low, whereas Bitcoin has now increased. So this is a problem. And listen, I love Bitcoin. Clearly, I'm not like a Bitcoin maximalist, but I'm very big with Bitcoin. I hold a lot of Bitcoin. It's a massive amount of my portfolio, but it is upsetting to see that happen, right? But here's the thing. We do have the Lightning Network. So, I understand that some people say, well, this might not be Satoshi's vision, but regardless, you can't deny the amount of growth. I mean, you could see we've gone from literally 78 nodes all the way up to 4,135. Channels have increased all the way up to 35,000. Network capacity is now up to, over 1,000 Bitcoin, which is $5.5 million, compared to where we were a year ago, which was $14,000. So it's quite incredible moving forward, but I just wanted to point that out. That could have a lot to do with why Bitcoin Cash has been spiking lately, possibly. Maybe people are just finding the transactions cheaper. Just speculation, I don't know. But speaking of Bitcoin Cash, we do have Roger Ver, who has actually recently joined on as not only an investor, but also an advisor for Monarch. So if you guys are not familiar with Monarch, they're basically a wallet where you get to keep your private keys. keys, and they've also actually added Bitcoin Cash to it as well. So that's basically that's really the only coin news I had for the day, but I thought this was really funny. So Keith Waring says, if you're thinking of working in crypto, my advice to you is don't. You will be paid in magic beans, and people will tell you that these beans have value, but they cannot sell these magic beans until they say so. This is because deep down they are greed-driven, selfish, scamming, you know what? And this guy says, yes, but if you plant the beans, then a big stork will grow. Climb that beanstalk, and as long as the giant is sleeping, you can come with home a goose that lays golden eggs and a magic harp. To which Keith replies, I think you're getting confused with Viagra. Too funny. Too funny. Also, strangely enough, somebody was able to go through these old newspapers and actually found a proposal for somebody that was talking about creating a Bitcoin a long time ago, but it's not the Bitcoin that we're talking about. It's a different Bitcoin, but I don't know. I thought that was really funny too as well. So that about does it for me today, guys. But no, I did not forget about the Ledger Nano S giveaway. You know we give away a Ledger Nano S every single Monday. So last week, we actually had 8 videos because we had the video with Crown. So starting from Monday, that'll be number 1, and then Sunday would be the 8th video, right? So basically, we're going to go over here. We're going to do 1 through 8. We're going to generate number 8. So that was yesterday's video. So, okay. So anyone who commented on yesterday's video, you are eligible for the Ledger Nano S. So let's hop into the video. Let me pause this. Copy. And then one time, Bitcoin crashed. All right. So let's put that in here. Let's see what we got. 495 unique comments. All right. Are you guys ready? Drum roll, please. Great video. I will take it. Atarsada, I probably said that wrong, but you know what to do. Hit me up. Obviously, you have 24 hours to claim the Ledger Nano S. If I don't hear from you in 24 hours, well, we're going to do it again and give it away to the next person. So you can get a hold of me by either going to my official Telegram group, and you can contact me through the link, or just send me an email using my About section. Do not engage with any of the scammers in the comments below. Please use only those 2 ways to get a hold of me. Thank you so much for everybody that's been coming back to the channel. Also, I want to say thank you to everyone that has actually been purchasing Ledger Nano S's or Ledger Nano X's using my referral link. I really do appreciate it. It does help the channel out. Also, obviously, downloading the Brave browser using my link definitely helps. I am a verified creator as well. And everyone that's just been sending me Lightning Network tips. I mean, hey, I'll take it, guys. But you know that is not expected of you. All I want is for you to just get involved and just have a good time talking some crypto, and that's about it, guys. And just remember, we are so early. We are so early to this. If you're actually watching this video right now, give yourself a pat on the back because, wow. Yep, well, you know what's going to happen, guys. So that being said, I think that I've done enough for today's video. It's Monday. You know how it is. We got to kind of get back into the grind of things. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, we have a really exciting week moving forward. Let me have a quick look at Bitcoin before we go. It's pulling back a little bit, but it's still doing pretty good. But, you know, I could put the video out and we could just have a crazy massive dump, and you know how crypto goes. Hopefully we don't, but if we do, I'll definitely be buying some more. Thank you so much again for everyone that's been liking, subscribing, and commenting. If you're new, definitely get subscribed. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto, and peace out.